A friend who, guys, he sends me emails quite often of interesting articles. He's just sent me one saying that more than half of all Teslas being traded in are being traded in for a gas-powered car. 51% apparently, according to Edmunds data. Now, I'm kind of a bit intrigued by this, but it is interesting because this is actually a decrease in the number of Teslas being traded in for gas. It used to be apparently much, much higher than that, which is, a big shock to me. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. It's great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans, and I can't understand why you would trade in your Tesla for a gas car after you just saved all this money by not having to pay for gasoline, not having to pay for petrol, diesel, not having to drink in the fumes. Now, guys, I've been watching lots of videos about cancer, and one interesting thing is people have been baffled for many years about why so many, as in hundreds of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, have gotten lung cancer. Lung cancer when they do not smoke cigarettes. They never have. Never smoked cigars, never smoked cigarettes. Literally more than 20% of people get lung cancer. I think it's about 25% worldwide have never ever smoked. It might even be higher than that. It might be closer to 30%. That's a huge number. Now, the key reason analysts, experts are now saying that people are getting lung cancer, and with, like I said, hundreds of thousands are getting lung cancer without smoking, is because of fumes from cars, fumes in cities. Literally, a friend of mine got lung cancer. She's never, older lady, she's never, ever, ever smoked a cigarette. So when you see this sort of thing, you think to yourself, people are knowingly, do they know this stuff? They know that the exhaust emissions from the cars that they're trading in, there's none, and they're trading it in for a car that is slowly poisoning you. Now, I don't know if it's going to poison you enough to give you cancer, but you have a bad week, get some sort of virus, get some sort of illness. That's often when cancers take hold. And we all have little cancers in our bodies constantly all the time. And our T cells are going around and killing those little cancers all the time. But sometimes those T cells are weakened by weak immune systems. Then, right, you're sitting in this pollution every day. You're in a city. You're surrounded by cars. You've got your car idling, right? Your window's open, your car's idling, and you are literally killing yourself. So I think it's insane that people would ever trade an EV in, especially when the cost of ownership is so low for a gasoline-powered car. But unfortunately in America, this is shockingly common. Now, apparently, more than half of Teslas traded in at dealerships this year in 2024, 51% were traded in for a gas-powered vehicle. According to Edmunds data, from January to July of 2024, 51% were traded in for gas, 32% were traded in for a different EV. That could be a new Tesla, I don't know. It could be just another EV. But if you factor in hybrids, the number is 57%. So 57% of people bought either a gas car or a hybrid vehicle in the US. Now, surprisingly, that's a big change from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, people who traded in their EVs, 71% of them bought a gas-powered car. 71% 5 years ago. So we've improved from 71% 5 years ago to 51% today. Now, I should point out, this is a little bit misleading, this data. The media are presenting this as though people are just selling their EVs as fast as they can and getting rid of their Teslas. It's not the case at all. The reality is Tesla actually has the highest brand loyalty of any brand in the world. Any mass market brand, Tesla is number one for brand loyalty. I think their brand loyalty number is about 70%, which is significantly higher than anyone, Mercedes, BMW, whatever. It's much higher. So that's worth keeping in mind. This doesn't mean that, that millions of people are selling their Teslas and trying to get rid of them. If you look at the numbers, it's quite interesting because in 2020, 76% of Teslas were traded in for internal combustion vehicles. 76%. In 2021, it was 72%. In 2022, it was 66%. In 2023, it was 55%. And in 2024, it's 51%. So every year since 2020, the percentage has gone down, meaning, it's gone from incredibly 3 out of every 4 people who traded in a Tesla in 2020 did it to buy a gas-powered vehicle. Now it's only half. Now, I still think that's insane, but at least it's improving every year. That's kind of nice to see that. Now, interestingly, guys, as you can see, plug-in hybrids are not being basically people aren't trading their Teslas in for plug-in hybrids. Well, part of the reason is there's very few plug-in hybrids you can actually buy in the United States, but also is that really, to be honest, a plug-in hybrid, in my opinion, is a downgrade. I'd much prefer a fully electric car if I could get one. I mean, if I was in the US, I'm going to go and buy an EV, and I'm going to trade it in. You know, I'm not going to trade it in for a plug-in hybrid. I feel like that's a downgrade. I'm going to trade it in for another EV if I'm going to go trade in my car. Anyhow, 5 years ago, legacy automakers didn't have vehicles that could compete with Teslas. In fact, the Tesla Model 3 won Edmunds' top-rated electric car in 2021, 2020, and 2022. It only lost in 2023, and to be honest, the Tesla Model 3, I think, is more than likely going to win again in 2024. Legacy automakers, in some ways, have been catching up with Tesla, and Edmunds says that they have surpassed Tesla in their offerings. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but that's their claim. Tesla has been standing still, they reckon. Now, I don't think that journalists say that about the Tesla Model 3 Highland. In fact, most journalists say it's the best EV you can buy for the money. And really, I don't think Tesla have been standing still. I understand people thinking that, but I think Tesla have been working constantly on cost cutting. Now, there is only one manufacturer really in the world that is mass producing EVs outside of China and making a profit selling them. It's only Tesla. I don't know how they're doing it. It's insane they're able to make a profit considering their EVs are so cheap. And the Model Y, basically long range Model Y with a big battery pack, it's going to give you 363 miles of range, $44,000. I mean, that is an absolute bargain. And Tesla apparently, their profits have shrunk, but they're still making a profit. I think Tesla are doing incredibly well to pull that off. I really think that we should be focusing on the fact that they've made any profit at all, considering the very, very low price of their cars. Their cars have come down in price by 30% on average. Amazing discounts. Basically Tesla has put so much pressure on the market, it's forcing other manufacturers to offer their EVs at very, very competitive prices. So rather than actually slagging Tesla off for that, we should be saying thank you very much, Tesla, for forcing everyone to bring down the cost of electric cars. Let me know what you think about these numbers. 51%. Would you consider trading in your EV for a gas car? I kind of understand if people trade it in for a plug-in hybrid. Maybe you've got to do heaps of long-range trips, but trading it in for a fully gasoline-powered car, in my opinion, that just seems like a retarded thing to do.